But these are here, each individual group, family group. Now remember, they're much larger now. They have their own territories, their own identities, but they are of the Wappinger community. And at least once a year, they get together for communal hunting, for politics, introduce the kids to one another. And it may be, by the way, more than once a year. It may be twice a year. Now, let's take the next slide to give you an idea about how widespread. All those little red dots, not the red rectangle, that's the center of town. All the little red dots are sites that I know of in Ridgefield, settled from the late Archaic to the woodland periods. In fact, one of them was also an early woodland site. So Richardson Park was not the only place with woodland. There are 7 sites that I know of at Lake Kitchewan. Lake Walkabuck, is it? Lake Walkabuck also has a site. Ward Pound Ridge Reservation has 2 sites that I have looked at and documented for my own interest. And I will tell you there are more. You can literally walk Ward Pound Ridge Reservation and pick the stuff up off the ground.
There's one on the river. They did a thing on the Walkabuck River, which was parallel.
What did I say, the lake?
You said lake. I think it's the river.
Somewhere over in that direction. And I know, thanks to Susie, of 2 sites from around here. One is Peach Lake. The other one, was it Croton Falls?
It's from Holt.
I read it, honest. So there we have them. Aren't they cute? These people, we have a lot of them, and they are well settled in our area. Now the transitional archaic is only 700 years, from 3700 to 3000. And as its name suggests, it's a time of change. What change? The artifacts, by the way, become really, really pretty. All of a sudden, they're starting to use good material, and they're starting to flake them again. Why? There's a really funny story. It also shows you about the superciliousness of some cultural anthropologists. There is one at the turn of the 20th century up in Alaska, and he notices that the Eskimo tools are beautifully carved, beautifully designed, painted. I mean, they are really gorgeous. And he asks the hunter, why? Why do you do this? I mean, you lose them. You know, there's the whale, you throw your spear, it's gone. And the Eskimo's explanation was, we honor the spirit of the animal gods with beauty. If we made ugly tools, we would not be honoring the spirit, and the spirit might not accept our spear, and we would not get the animal that we tried to get. Pretty tools equals dinner. Another thing you will find at this period that is a change is we're going to take a look at our soapstone bowls. Can we have our shot? These are not too pretty. They're fashioned after baskets. And even though soapstone is a soft stone, do you want to think about carving them? I found this piece at Lake Kitchewan, site at Lake Kitchewan. Do you want to give that back to me?
Yes, I don't want to drop it. There you go.
Okay. And we can now go to the middle woodland. I don't mean the middle woodland, I mean the early woodland. Early woodland goes from 3 to 2,000 years ago, and the temperature drops precipitously. The bottom just falls out. Winter becomes extremely long and extremely cold. The spring thaw doesn't come until very late, and it is coupled with a drought, summer droughts. Plants, well, right off the bat, hickory trees go into decline. Oak trees start to disappear. Other plants are also disappearing. With no plants or with fewer plants, you're going to get fewer animals. The whole package means less food. So what you have now is a complete, total collapse and starvation among the people. It is so bad that some communities, for example, the Maritime Arcade, totally disappear. They are totally gone, except for Richardson Park. We found a pile of charcoal, and it's shaped like this. Piles of charcoal are not shaped like that, and about that height. Piles of charcoal are shaped like this. I had not a clue what we had found. Next slide. Until one day, Maureen Cole, who was digging with me at Richardson, asked me how they made boats. Now, luckily, Maureen, by the way, has been digging up this particular area, which is probably why she asked the question. Okay, and I start telling her about, big trees, too big for axes, so you burn them down. Then you cut the limbs off, and then you take them, and you put a little tiny trough in with your woodworking tools, and you set fire in there, controlled fire. It burns, and then you put it out, and then you scrape it out with your woodworking tool, and you dump it. I cannot talk without my hands, so I am doing this, and I'm looking at it, and it suddenly dawns on me. Out and dumped. They're building a boat.
I remember that day.
Do you remember that?
We have a boat building.
So, a meter away, this really is a duh thing, people. A meter away, we have these woodworking tools. Sometimes I'm not the sharpest tool on the site. Now, in the early woodland, I forgot to tell you the exciting thing about it was, not all this mess. I dated the charcoal. And the date was early woodland. Yes! I have artifacts from the early woodland. I have a floor in the early woodland. And I have a boat being made in the early woodland. I am very excited. They had clay pots. They are thick. Oh, the points, by the way, transitional and early woodland. The pots are thick and heavy and gawky. They look like baskets. They are too thick, way too thick to put on a fire. If you put them on a fire, they would probably crack. So they are used for storage. Trade increases during this period. This is one of the social processes that keeps these people alive during this very rough time. Women are still gathering plants, but they're doing something just a little bit differently. They go to the area where their edible plants are growing, and they remove from that area plants that don't belong to encourage the other plants to grow. I think we call this weeding. The other thing they're doing is that they are leaving some varieties, some plants, to reseed, so that when they come back to the area, they will have grown again. This is the beginnings of cultivation. More technology that helps them meet the need that they are experiencing with this really tough weather. The middle woodland, 2,000 to 1,000 years ago, the weather has warmed up. Living is a lot easier, and the slide is going to show us they are making coiled pots. It's the diagram of how it's done. They're really rather prettier, much prettier than the other ones. They're thinner skinned or thinner thickness. They may be used for cooking. They now are fishing, preparing hives, smoking meat and fish in greater number. We have more people. Late woodland. The climate is now warm. We're back to climate like today. The food is plentiful. And even though you find places in the Susquehanna Valley and central New York where they're practicing agriculture, they haven't done it in our area. Probably because they have plenty to eat. The one thing you can say for all our rivers and lakes is that they have a lot of game and plants for the people. The people are once again, well, before we get to the people, look at the pots. Let's take another look at another set of pots coming up. These are castellated. Notice the little peaks at the top? I never could do that. Anyway, notice the little peaks at the top. This is your castellization. You'll see they have a neck, but they still have the rounded bottoms. Let's go to the next slide. And this is how they're used. They are hung over the fire, or they're placed directly in circles of stone with fire underneath them. The people are once again settling into the larger communities because the population is increasing. They still have a seasonal round, which they follow. They still are gathering once a year for the storytelling, politicking, introducing the kids to the other people. Their leaders are probably chosen the same way. It's a vertical government still. The leaders are probably the ones who give the most of their possessions to the people who need it. The social security system that has helped them survive. Life is stable once more. However, it doesn't last. There's a huge change coming, and that change is something that they will not recover from, and the change is contact. We're not going to do contact today because we don't have time. In the interest, however, of self-promotion, on the 25th of April and the 1st of May, it's a 2-period class, I will be teaching the contact, well, actually the deeds in Ridgefield between the Indian proprietors and the Ridgefield proprietors, and this covers contact. The people involved will be discussed. And that's it, guys. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I passed everything out, right? Yes. All right.
Your course is going to be for Ridgefield Continuing Ed, right?
Yeah. Did I not?
No, you didn't say where it was.
Hey, look, I made it to the end of the talk. It will be at the end of Maureen, I meet her because she, silly girl, hanged to one of these. An even sillier girl volunteered to dig with me. Pardon?
How would one of us sign up? Just call continuing ed?
Just call continuing ed, Peggy Bruno. I'd love to see you. The first course will